Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to round 11 action of the TIO 2022-23 Men's Premier League competition. And this evening we are live at Gardens Oval in Darwin, where we have the home side Waratahs taking on Nightcliff Tigers. My name is George Scoufezis, and I'm joined here this afternoon with Ian Butterworth. And a quick chat over to you, Ian. How are you finding it this afternoon, or so far this weekend of footy, and in particular this match about to proceed?
Yeah, g'day George. Look, the Battle of the Beaches, it's known locally, and of course I should put the Battle of the Foreshores, but it's not quite the beach here at Gardens Oval, but Gardens Oval looks immaculate. It's interesting. Look, both teams, Waratah 7-2, they're in first position, and Nightcliff 3-5, and going badly. They've lost their last three. They had to bye the last game, so we don't know their form. It hasn't been all that flash, whereas Waratah have won their last two games and had the bye before that. Waratah playing pretty well, on top of the ladder. It says enough, doesn't it? Yeah,
it certainly does. It's a bit of a surprise in regards to the Tigers. They've been known, certainly in recent history, to be that resolute side, and to find them currently in 7th position, I guess for their benefit, coming off the bye, perhaps a week for Chris Bash and his side to recuperate and I guess rethink, maybe look internally.
Look, I think you're right, George. They really, it's a must-win game, I reckon, for Nightcliff if they want to be serious contenders. It is a top 5. They're 7th at the moment, and you're right again. The last 4 premierships, Nightcliff have won 3 of them. St Mary's, of course, the reigning premier, and Nightcliff won the previous 3. Nightcliff, from what I've seen, and I see them every 3rd or 4th week, I suppose, they just can't find a goal. They can't buy a goal. No big John Butler up in the goal square. So I think Ryan Nyhouse looks after them down back, but gee whiz, they struggle to score, and they rely on the midfielders to, Brody Philo and those sorts of blokes to actually do their scoring, and it's just not good enough. They need someone up front.
Absolutely, and I guess while Nightcliff are coming out to put on a show this afternoon, I guess same must be said by Ryan Ayers and their side. I mean, the top of the table, as you mentioned, for them, you'd think in front of the home support as well, they'd want to just trot along and keep doing their stuff.
Yeah, and looking around, it looks a pretty healthy crowd here at Gardens Oval. As I mentioned, Gardens Oval, it holds a special place for me and probably for all football supporters in the Northern Territory here in the top end. It is immaculate. Weather looks okay. We look out to the east, and that's where the weather normally comes from. It looks pretty clear. It goes through to 8 o'clock tonight. But Ryan Ayres must be pretty happy. Caught up with him briefly a little bit earlier, George, and I think he's quietly confident. He doesn't say too much, Ryan. He sort of holds his cards pretty close to his chest. But they're sitting on top of the ladder. You can't do much better than that.
No, certainly not. And I guess, while there's still plenty of football left to play throughout the season, going into that Christmas break on top of the table really buys in a lot of enthusiasm and encouragement, not just from the senior side, but the club surrounding. We can see a lot of Waratah supporters, both men and women, and the Women's Premier League stayed behind and clapped on their side, as both sides usually do. But it just adds that renewed bit of enthusiasm, especially after last season coming so close.
Yeah, look, I think you're right, and we're starting to set up here. It looks like Jackson Bowen might start in the ruck, and he'll probably come up against Arnold Kirby. But it's the midfield of Waratah. The left footers, Jaden Magro, Brody Carroll, Dylan Collis, William Collis, and the right footer in there, Robert Turnbull. They are just ball magnets, and certainly Nightcliff have got to quell them.
Yeah, absolutely. Spot on. Well put, and only moments away now from first bounce. It's certainly going to be an entertaining game, a twilight one.
Interesting, isn't it? 6 o'clock.
Yeah,
yep.
I don't mind it.
No.
It's a good time slot.
I get home an hour earlier.
Yeah.
But the ball ready with the field umpire, just checking with the respective captains. And it'll be Nightcliff to kick to the city end. And, of course, Waratah with Arnold Kirby, as I mentioned, in ruck. And Waratah, the home side, will be kicking to the Nightcliff High School end. And up they go. And it was Bowen. He won the tap. And he was uncontested, really. Ball in the middle of the ground. Someone's got to get a clearance here. So important to get the first score. And it'll be a free kick, and the first clearance will go to Nightcliff. Nightcliff kicking, Philo gets it onto the right boot, goes forward, gets the ball down. Big Bowen, he kicks the ball just up and air. What wasn't a 15-metre carry, and a gang tackle right in front of the. And I'm sure you heard the people in the grandstand barracking there, and it'll be Jackson against Kirby, Bowen against Kirby. Kirby it was, knocked the ball down, in dispute, out of bounds. It'll be tossed in by the boundary umpire. The first boundary throw in, nothing to write home about at this stage, George.
No, nothing at all, but a lot of good intensity from both teams. Very eager, both sets of players to get to the ball, whether it's Waratah or Nightcliff in possession.
Well, as we mentioned right at the pre-match, it is so important for Nightcliff to get a win and Waratah on top, and they want to retain that. And have the football. He's still got possession of the football, and that is Joel Stevens. Probably a bit lucky to get away with that, I reckon. Field umpire nominating Kirby, Bowen. Kirby it is. Knocks the ball down. Kiranua over the footy. Couple of Kiranuas out there. Now that's Silver. Kirby Silver. Silver in the middle of the ground. Chip short. Finds a teammate. Edward Morris. Morris goes forward for Waratah. Mark not taken. Good defence. But his arm was chopped, I reckon. The field umpires picked that up. And the first scoring opportunity inside the first, well, about a minute and a half. And Waratah, the big chance.
Yeah, and absolutely. Definitely a bit of contact there coming through. And I guess the free kick and a shot on goal by William Kane.
William Kane it is. Pretty much directly in front. He's a right footer, slightly left of centre, so it suits the right footer. Going to the high school end, the Darwin High School end. Casually strolls in, drops it nicely, kicks and misses to the left. So the scoring opens with a minor. 2 minutes in, Waratah leading, one behind. Nightcliff to bring the ball back. Left back pocket. Out of bounds on the full. Bad kick, poor kick. Can't afford to do that early in the game.
No. Need to keep that composure. It's one of the very telling signs early in a footy game is if you're not with it early and a team can, like Waratah, can only make you pay. Of course, that chance from Kane missed slightly to the left, but they can build up another scoring opportunity here and slot it away. It could build up early pressure for the Tigers.
Kick and a half out, Waratah. On the far side. Couple of leads on offer. Goes for the bomb. Goes to the hot spot. Ball on the ground. In dispute. Silver has been busy. Gets knocked out of the contest unceremoniously. And we'll have a bounce about 30 metres from the Waratah goal. Bowen over the top. Free kick. And it will go to Nightcliff. So the Nightcliff ruckman deep in defence. Looks like he's got black and white socks on rather than the black and the gold, but I'm sure they're black and gold. Not too many players wear the long socks, George. He's got them tucked up. Kicks, favours the scoreboard side, which reads one behind to Waratah. Picked up by Eilert. Eilert for Nightcliff. Skims the ball low and long. Approaching left half forward for the Tigers. Ball out of bounds. Ooh. But free kick, gee, a bit red hot. But umpire was a bit close. Boy, it's close, certainly closer than us, and a nice kick in, but defence of Waratah standing strong early in this game. No target down there. We mentioned at the start, George, no John Butler, and that was just a kick in hope. A couple of kicks in hope there by Nightcliff. They need to find a target. I'm not quite sure who it is. Maybe Harry Butler, the normal ruckman. They can move him down there, but that's up to the coach, Chris Baksh. He's won about 3 premierships, I think, so he knows what he's doing.
100%.
So it's Bowen and it's Kirby. Bit of push and shove. Kirby, probably a secondary touch. Free kick down. It'll be Nightcliff once again. Cameron Eilert goes forward. Nice attempt down there and some good defensive work by Waratah once again. I'm not going to say it again, I probably will, but they haven't got a target down there, and each time Waratah have defended grimly. But ball's on the ground, it's a different kettle of fish. Running in and kick on goal, and I reckon he's rolled it through, or is it touched on the line? Goal umpire says he's calling the field umpire in. Get out of here, said the field umpire. Was it touched or was it a goal? The players seem to think it's a behind, and the goal umpire says, my ball, and it is a behind. So one behind each 5 minutes into the first quarter. Waratah to bring the ball back. Nice kick in. Still inside defensive 50. Maybe they'll favour the grandstand side this time. Most of the play's been on the outer. They favour the grandstand side. Left footer. Kicks and kicks forward beautifully. Darcy Hope. One of the key forwards. Running Scott Carlin. Carlin kicks to the small forward. Ball on the ground. Nightcliff defence under pressure. Got it out nicely. Keranua. That's Henry Keranua. That was Timothy Keranua. So a couple of Keranuas, son of Adam, I believe. And the ball to be tossed in on the 50, on the paint of 50 metres around from the Waratah goal. Waratah in attack, going to the high school end at Gardens Oval. 6 minutes in, a point each, or a behind each. William Kane to give the chop out. Islett's been busy, gets the ball forward, does it nicely. Cameron Islett on the ball, normally plays as a permanent forward. But they recognise the importance of this game, and Islett's on the ball. He's their best player. He's a ball magnet. Ooh. Forward once again. But it'll be cleaned up by Waratah defence with one of their many left footers. Big Bowen is tackled. Ball on the ground. Waratah nose over the football. Similarly, Nightcliff in the middle of the ground. Sean Wilson, the vice-captain. Charging through. Took him on, umpire. But really no prior. And the umpire has no choice but to bounce it close to the bullseyes in the centre. Kirby, Bowen. Kirby it is. Nightcliff. Waratah clear. Nightcliff at centre half back. Kicks up in the air. Good teamwork. Jaden Magro, probably his first possession. Magro centres the ball forward. Over the top. Silva can't weave some magic there. Waratah hit the front. 2 behinds to 1. 7 minutes, 7.5 coming up, 8 minutes into the first term. Perfect conditions, George. No wind to speak of?
No wind to speak of. Certainly it hasn't been as of a scorcher as we've had so far this week throughout the territory, but I think obviously as the game progresses, it's only going to get more comfortable for both sets of players.
If it can be comfortable. But I'm sure if it can be, it will be here. Waratah working the ball by hand, running around. Well done there. And that's Jake Bowd. Good player for Waratah. Usually plays on the wing. He goes forward to William Collis. Collis goes forward further. Picks up a teammate, Carlin. Had a couple of touches. Carlin gets it out to Marcus Watty. Watty, tumbling kick forward. Not the best entry. Bowen over the football. Can't bend down to pick it up. Waratah onto the left foot. Kicks high, long, and misses to the left. So 3-1. It's a soccer game.
Yeah, it certainly has. The World Cup fever currently hitting the world. And
Nyhouse brings the ball back. Gets it to the vice-captain, Wilson. Wilson out to Bowles. The reigning joint Nichols medalist. Ball touched before it went out of bounds. And it's close to the interchange, or between the interchange areas, right in front of the main area here at Gardens Oval. Tossed in by the boundary umpire, good for a contest. Bowen probably won that one against Kirby. Waratah seemed to be at the drop of the football. Over the top, was he taken high?
yeah.
Carlin it is, and he's been good early. Had plenty of it. Carlin, poor kick. Mark taken. Edward Morris. Nyhouse keeps his eye on the football. Couple of handballs. Carlin again gets it forward. Handball out from Magro. Magro goes to another left footer, and I reckon he's missed as well to the left. Wasteful up forward. 4 behinds to 1. Waratah have been in attack for most of the quarter, but no goals.
No, nothing to show for it, certainly, halfway through this first quarter, and good sides know how to stay in games and go and punish you. So maybe Waratah might live to rue a couple of these missed chances in.
Yep. Nightcliff forward. Big bowls. Onto the left foot. Centre of the ground, Moo. Moo out to the right half forward. Picks up a teammate. Big kick inside forward 50. This looks pretty good, but no high mark, but a free kick. Chopped the arm. And it might be that man, Cameron Islet. He took a little bit of pressure there, didn't he? So Islet. Now he's right of centre, right on the boundary line. We can see it's a very, very tight angle. He is a right footer, so it doesn't settle for him quite nicely, but he knows his footy.
It's going to add if anyone can kick it from here, Cameron Islet.
I would agree with you wholeheartedly. Cameron Islet to put the Tigers in front. Long kick forward, missed everything.
Yeah.
We probably would expect that because the way Waratah have been playing, and Dylan Collis, who's playing deep in defence. Another one of their left footers, the vice captain, will bring the ball back. Collis kicks forward, poor kick. Nightcliff in attack. Collis again, can't get rid of it. Islet has it, gets the ball out. Collis and kicks it, kicks in hope, no good. Nightcliff have the football. That was Daniel Jackson, and he's got the vice captain out there. I reckon that's Sean Wilson. Now Wilson just left of centre, man on the mark about 45 metres from goal, so he'll have to kick from 48. It'd be on his distance, I reckon. Wilson, very deliberate, kicks on goal, and George, the Tigers are in front.
Hallelujah there. First goal of the afternoon going to the way of the Tigers, and it's a fantastic finish. As you said, right on the edge of his barrel, but he goes bang, and the opening goal, courtesy of Shawnee Wilson.
And it took 12 and a half minutes for either team to kick a goal.
Yeah, maybe this renewed time slots maybe started a bit too
Oh,
early.
not going to make excuses. Yeah. Nightcliff 1-1. Waratah have had their chances, haven't they?
Yeah,
Four behinds
and
missed probably two gettable ones.
Yeah.
Ball back in the middle. Kirby. This time he might be on against Butler. It's hard to see the Nightcliff players, the yellow jumpers and the white numbers. Very difficult to pick up. And once we get used to them in their yellow jumpers, it is Butler. We will be a little bit more definite about our choice of players. In the centre square. Nathan Brown, unusual for him. Usually down back. Waratah. Nothing for me, nothing for anyone. So the field umpire says, give it to me. Just outside the bullseye. No clearance. No stat there, except perhaps Kirby in the ruck. And again, he's tapped it, but to no one in particular. Kick off the ground, very good. Running in, beautiful turn. Brodie Carroll, the skipper, kicks it forward, inside forward 50. They're away again. The defence of Nightcliff equal to the task. And that's a nice strong mark. Tigers this time. Inside forward 50. No mark. Islet, that's the first thing he's missed all day. We're 14 minutes in. They kick it out, and a nice defensive mark to Dom Booth. Booth, terrible kick. No wind, no weather, no pressure. Shawnee Wilson, the goal kicker, tumbles forward. Nightcliff, inside forward 50, just and out of bounds, 49 metres from their goal, right half forward. Nightcliff starting to get their mojo going.
Yeah, absolutely. The cogs are turning. This is a good field position there. Shanky kick, but it could pay dividends for the Tigers if they can lock it up in their forward 50.
Tossed in by the boundary umpire. Butler in front. Over the football, cleared by Waratah. Into the centre. Under a fair bit of pressure, that Nightcliff player, but did it nicely. Nightcliff still in the van. One handball too many. Waratah getting it out through Marcus Watty, who's been busy. Gets it out to Joel Stevens, always busy. Good player, Stevens, one of their few right footers, one of their few effective right footers, but the mark taken deep in defence. Nightcliff defenders working overtime, get it out nicely. Relayed kicks. Round to the right foot. The Tigers go, but chopped off that time beautifully by Adam Golden. Waratah back into attack. Inside forward 50. Running hard is Magro. A noted goal kicker. Without the mullet from the last couple of years too. Jaden Magro, he is a left footer. He is right of centre. But I reckon again he's on his distance because you're going to have to kick from 50, George.
Yeah, and when you factor in that bit of an angle too, it can kind of deter the power you put in sometimes.
Yep.
As he comes
Yep.
in.
But he's a noted goal kicker, Magro. That was a shank once again, but I reckon it's cleared everyone. That was an absolute shocker. It's cleared everyone, and Tars are back in front. Tell me about that one.
Wow, well, I mean, I think perhaps Magro tried to surprise himself and in turn surprise the opposition in the form of how that kick came about, but you'll take them if they come, and certainly it has for the Tars opener.
Well, as we mentioned, he is a noted goal kicker. Ball to be brought back in the middle. Kirby's done a pair of ruck work. This time Bowen back in ruck. Jackson Bowen, the big man with, they are black and gold socks. Surely they're black and gold.
Certainly are.
Kirby v Bowen. Both a bit similar sizes. They're about 2 metres tall, each of them. Over 100 kilograms. Up they go. Kirby once again. Did it beautifully. Ball tossed out. They'll get the clearance. Through by hand. Off to Kirby. Kirby forward. Waratah away they go. Leap. Can't take the mark, but again, interfered with.
Yeah.
Play in front, and hopefully you'll be rewarded if you are. That'll be Pope, I reckon.
Yeah, no, it certainly is. And
good free kick by the umpire.
yeah, I really liked his leap. Got good vertical.
No, it's not Pope. It's that is Scott Carlin. Oh no, it is Pope, isn't it? 23.
Yeah.
Yeah. Darcy Hope. He is also a noted goal kicker, and that's the difference. They've got options. Waratah, gun barrel straight, but just drifts to the right-hand side, and a minor score. So Waratah, they go to 1-5-11, leading Nightcliff, 1-1-7, about to tick into time on in the first term. Short option. Ignores that. Ryan Nyhouse, measured. Comes out, runs his full measure, chips across his body, picks up Moo. Moo goes back by hand. Terrible kick. Here he is, Cameron Eilert. Eilert goes forward. Been busy, been terribly busy, been very good. Series of handballs get Waratah out of trouble.
Oh, well
And a
done.
mark picked up by Magro. Another minor. Now, I reckon they're officially wasteful. That's 1-6-12 to 1-1-7.
Certainly are, but the Waratahs are finding these pockets of space. Just there, Magro, completely uncontested, was able to gather and eventually pressured to miss that one. But Nightcliff must be double manning someone because it seems like there's a Tars player always free.
Nyhouse checks his options over the back. Away they go. Philo gets it out. Moo, been busy. Goes back by hand, under pressure. Back to Moo. Moo forward. Kicks it. No, not 15, said the field umpire, and he's probably right. Moo, forward again. The Waratah defence. Just no-nonsense defence. Jack O'Sullivan. And certainly been very busy as Dylan Collis. And it's interesting that Dylan Collis seems to be playing as a defender. Field umpire says, give it to me. 55 metres around from the Nightcliff goal, left half forward. Nightcliff just clearing with ease into the middle of the ground. One bounce. Stevens, lovely kick forward. Open goal square, and he's nailed it from 65. Joel Stevens, what a goal.
Yeah, it's a good finish, and again mentioning that open space that Waratahs have been afforded early on in this game, and you got a player like Joel Stevens on the ball will certainly craft an opportunity in that particular time.
You hit the nail on the head just a little bit earlier, George, when you said they've got space, but they haven't used it because their kicking has been woeful. But that time there was space. There was no one within 30 metres of the goal, and Stevens just skimmed it through.
Oh, absolutely.
So while they have been wasteful, they do lead. 2-6-18 Waratah, Nightcliff 1-1-7. We've ticked into time on in the first term. Bowen against Kirby. Kirby's won everything. Noted ruckman. Beautiful bounce by the field umpire. Up they go. Bowen, that one. Ball on the ground. Philo over it. Can't pick it up. Gets it out by hand. Does well. Will give them the clearance. Over the football. Taken high, but he ducked his head into it. Nightcliff working hard. Right half forward. Big Kirby has the football. Can't get rid of it. And the field umpire correctly says, give it to me, boys. So 2 kicks around from the Nightcliff goal. Right half forward. Grandstand side. Kirby in front. Gets it down to a teammate. Does it nicely. Edward Morris has had a bit of the footy. And he will take the free kick. Left half back. Grandstand side.
Oh.
Lucky that wasn't a Christmas putter. It'd be all over him. Nightcliff player there was Lachlan Huppets. Probably should have taken that mark, I reckon. Ball to be tossed in by the boundary umpire. We'll have a good view of this. Kirby, Bowen, both working. Kirby over the back. Knocks it down, but Philo picks the ball up one way, then the other. Goes by hand. Another handball. Got to kick it. Oh, and he's taken beautifully in a tackle and a bump. And that's Cameron Eilert. Gee, he's been terrific. Eilert finds Big Bowen in the middle of the ground. Bowen's got an option wide. Too late, she cried as he waved a wooden leg. It is quarter time. Waratah lead 2-6-18 to Nightcliff 1-1-7. Goal kickers for Tars, Jaden Magro and Joel Stevens. And the goal kicker, the solitary goal kicker for Nightcliff, Sean Wilson. 1 goal. So 2-6 to 1-1. Tars perhaps should have been further ahead.
Yeah, certainly have. They've been a little bit wasteful going forward. I missed up a opportunity of that set shot and then running on goal. So certainly the happier of the two sides, I think, Waratah, but could be even happier as we go into a short quarter-time break. Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Round 11 action of the Men's Premier League between Waratahs and Nightcliff. Second quarter about to commence. It's the Tars 2-6-18, leading Nightcliff 1-1-7. A very competitive opening quarter, Ian, and treated to some goals at the very end, but both sides pretty much look to attest their pressures.
Yeah, you're right, George. It has been a feisty start, and we've got the dominant ruckman Kirby in there for Waratah. He's up against Bowen. Bowen probably won that, but Waratah, will they get the clearance? No, they won't. It'll be Nightcliff to get the clearance. And it'll be Brody Philo goes forward to probably the best player on the ground at this stage in his direction, Cameron Eilert. Eilert's been terrific. Started in the midfield, started on the ball, and now he looks like he might be at half forward. Same two combatants. No, different one. Kirby wins it comfortably against Butler. Ball on the ground, free kick. And it'll go to Waratah on the outer. Waratah go forward on the wing, slightly favouring them in attack. Lovely long raking kick forward in front. Can't take the mark. Is the big man, and that's Darcy Hope. Darcy Hope. Sean Wilson we see there. Bowen looking for Kirby. Bowen in front, giving him the tap. Picked up Waratah. Forward they go. Goulden had it a little bit. High tackle.
Yep.
And paid by the field umpire. Too far out to score. Probably a kick and a half out from goal. But at least it's at the right end. Well, no, it's not. He's certainly inside forward 50. So distance should not be a problem. Left of centre. Man on the mark. 35 from goal. Very deliberate. Goulden kicks on goal and kicks across the face of goal. Another bad miss. 2 goals, 7 to 1-1.
Yeah, the Tars have certainly been the victims of that. They've had absolutely a few of those set shots that have missed. I believe for the
Nighthouse. Sorry, George. Nighthouse goes short to Bowles. Bowles on the left foot goes short again. Inside defensive 50. Paris out there. Kicks long outside defensive 50. Nightcliff in the van. Forward they go. The defence can't take the mark. 2-on-1 here. Out they go backwards. Picked up that time by Butler. Butler goes forward. Not a good kick. Oh, high tackle in there. Missed, I reckon, that time by the field umpire. Cameron Eilert dragged off unceremoniously. The time by Dylan Collis. The free kick was paid. Out they go wide. William Collis. Forward again. Scoreboard side. Still in defence. Nice kick forward. Picking their options. Turnbull in the middle. Ignores him. Away they go again. Too easy in defence for Nightcliff. And the big mark taken. Short. Philo's had plenty of it. Goes forward. In the middle. Mark dropped. One way, then the other. Goes by hand. Slow motion football, George.
Yep.
Bowles sells the dummy. Inside, forward 50. Easy as you like. And the mark taken that time by Goulden again, who's been very good. But not much happening.
No.
Get it out to Waratah. Waratah, Scott Carlin. He's been very good too. They had some good players. But so is Nightcliff. Nighthouse in defence. Mark. Centre square, favour the corridor. Forward they go. Good lead. Huppets. Gives it everything he's got. Goes inside forward 50. Up they fly. No mark taken. Picked up that time by Brodie Carroll. Carroll has a player wide. Misses him. And that play is William Collison. The ball is out of bounds. Outside the defensive 50 for Waratah. Big Harry Butler. Will he take on Kirby? Looks like that'll be the go. Butler it is, has the superior leap, gets it over the top, gets a fingernail to the ball. Ball under the scoreboard, which, as we can see, is not flattering in terms of the goals and the points ratio for Nightcliff. Nyhouse, clear, back to Nyhouse. That might be Eilert. Cameron Eilert goes long inside the forward 50, but the defence is up to the task again. And Dylan Collis, who's been fantastic down back for Waratah, has it. And Goulden has had plenty of the footy too. That time it was Carlin. Ball is held up. Nightcliff in possession. They'll kick down the line, scoreboard side. At Waratah, at Gardens Oval. Ball out of bounds. Nicholas Gooch, former captain of Waratah, number 19. Resolute defender. Praying for out of bounds on the full, but the boundary umpire says no, give it to me. So defensive 50 for Waratah. Butler, Kirby, Butler with the better leap. Kirby got it, looks for a teammate. Ball on the ground, in dispute. Picked up Eilert. Eilert back by hand. Can't take the mark down there. Resolute defence once again. Jack O'Sullivan it was. Punched the ball to the boundary line. But within, it's a dangerous spot down there. Nightcliff small men.
Yep.
They've got to get a goal.
Yeah. Looking at Ryan Moo here.
Moo, Hooper.
Oh, wonderful. Plucked it out of the air and goes bang. I believe it was James Gow, number 15.
James Gow.
Yeah.
So that's just what the doctor ordered, wasn't it?
Certainly would have been the quarter-time chat from their coach and Chris Bash, but it's like I mentioned just earlier in that first quarter, that good sides know how to stay in games, even if they are certainly being outplayed in terms of the field position and certainly, I guess, kicks and handballs, because you'd be foolish to argue against that. Waratah have had the better of certainly the ball, just not the output, I guess, in front of goal. And as you see it, Nightcliff are only 6 points, one kick behind.
They are, but it's 2-7 to 2-1. So Waratah have had a mountain of possession, but haven't capitalised. Kirby, that time it was Bowen. Bowen did it nicely. Gets the ball down to a speedster. Timothy Keranua. Perhaps should have gone longer. Keranua's second effort was pretty good there, but he's tripped the player up. He dived at the football and took the player's legs out. Good free kick by the field umpire. Bowles goes long, as he always does. The elegant left footer over the back. There's Moo. You called him earlier. You called him earlier, yeah. George, and he's got you. Ryan Moo.
Bang, bang, just like that with both barrels, and Nightcliff.
Even the ledger.
Yeah, scores a level. Waratah 2-7-19. Level with Nightcliff. Yeah,
3-1-19, yep. Yeah. 2-7 to 3-1. And you wanted Moo to inject himself into the game, because his direct opponent, Dylan Collis, has really been terrific in defence for Waratah. Bowen now starting to get his spring coordinated. Kirby's been in the ruck pretty much for the entire game. Bowen's had a couple of chop outs. Harry Butler's given him a rest. Good bounce by the field umpire. Up they go. Bowen it is. Gets the ball, but only to Waratah. One bounce through the middle. Out they go. That'll be Carlin. Carlin goes forward again. Pope can't catch the defence of Nightcliff. Nightcliff, a series of handballs. Lachlan Huppets gets it out wide. Forward they go. Inside forward 50. Mark in front. Big mark was wanted, and the big mark was taken. Sam Overall. I don't want to mention this, but Sam Overall had the kick after the siren out at Nightcliff a couple or 3 or 4, perhaps a month or so ago, and missed to the left, and the Tigers were a bit short in that game. But overall it is. He is right of centre. Can kick the ball a long way. Kicks on goal. No one moves. Overall likes it. The goal umpire says, all clear. So all of a sudden, the Tigers are in front.
Yeah, done a bit of a march there. Nightcliff now. I believe the last 3 goals of the game certainly has really edged momentum in the yellow and black direction, and it's going to be important, goals like that.
Well, it is, and Bowen in the ruck at least is matching Kirby. So it's not a clear clearance in the middle for Waratah.
Mm-hmm. By just having a quick scan across, it looks like that Kirby might have to probably go all night in the ruck. He certainly seems to... There are a few tall boys out there for the Tars and the Tigers, but certainly Kirby preferred, as Nightcliff have made a change in the ruck.
Yeah, Butler back in the ruck, won the tap, gets the ball down. Kirby flicked it out over the top. Player's been good. That Waratah player, Watty, been okay. But the defence now of Nightcliff, they've lifted. Nightcliff will clear. Chasing hard was Timothy Kiranua.
Oh, off the ball.
Free kick, Nightcliff off the ball. This might be Sam Overall again. Now he'll be on his distance. He'll have to kick from outside 50. The angle's the same. Overall chooses to come inside. Distance the same. The angle less. Goes short to a leading player, and it's nice mark taken. They are all over them. They're like a rash. Nightcliff to kick on goal. Just slightly right of centre. But distance this time, not an issue. In fact, he's pretty much directly in front. It's to give them a good edge. Kicks on goal and gets it nicely. Did you pick that player up, George?
I believe we'll have a bit of a look now. It was a very good kick off the boot there.
Certainly was. 5-1 to 2-7.
That's James Gauss. That's his second of the afternoon.
Of the turn.
Upgraded to the only multiple goal kicker.
So 5-1-31 to 2-7-19. Shows the value of straight kicking, doesn't it?
Yeah, it certainly does. And I regrettably didn't want to go back to that comment earlier whether the Waratahs would rue the missed chances they've had. Certainly at the moment.
There's no doubt they are ruining that. Yep, you're quite right. 13 minutes in, 31 plays 19. The Tigers have taken all before them. Butler in the ruck has injected Tigers there. Ball drops short. Difficult one. William Collis. Too far out to score. Onto the left foot. Goes forward. No mark taken. Ball on the ground. In dispute. Picked up Waratah. Big Arnold Kirby. Can't find the handle. Nightcliff play was taken off the ball. And they'll clear. Across the face of goal. Dangerous. Favour the grandstand side. At Gardens Oval. Kicking a long way from goal. They'll go back, switch again. The old switcheroo trick. Nightcliff have the footy. Can't afford a mistake. Still inside defensive 50. Now they're outside defensive 50. Good kick. Nyhouse takes the mark. The skipper. Ryan Nyhouse goes down the line. Tigers in control. Jackson. Jackson goes forward. They just go down the line, don't they? Gow, excuse me, competes.
A lot of good interplay from both teams in this second quarter. Nightcliff certainly a little more efficient going forward.
The scoreboard says it all, doesn't it? 5-1 to 2-7. Boundary umpire tosses it in. Butler, give him the benefit of the doubt that time. Nightcliff will get the clearance. Go forward. Adam Goulden, been terrific. Big Arnold Kirby, a goal kicker and a ruckman. Goes forward, inside forward 50. Mark can't be taken. Ball on the ground. Magro, a goal kicker. Kicks on goal. Magro hits the left-hand post. Again, it's just Waratah cannot buy a goal. 2-8 to 5-1. Blow the whistle, the field umpire. Wasn't satisfied with the clearance for the kick-in. So it'll go all the way back again. And in your game, George, that's the custodian.
Yeah,
Will clear.
They won't mind that, actually. Just kill a bit of the momentum. Certainly Waratah like to play with the speed and flow of things, I think.
Yep.
Nightcliff seemed very well set up around the ball, and
Nighthouse clears.
Oh.
Second kick, not very good. Waratah, in they go. On the lead. But they're just starting to get their measure now. That's Brown. Brown goes by hand. Outside defensive 50. Again favouring the scoreboard side. Big punch away there by Nick Hoare. By Waratah's Nick Hoare. No prior, says the field umpire. Agree with him there on the 50. The paint of 50. Bowen. Against the Waratah chop-out ruckman, Kane. And Arnold Kirby, I just mentioned that he's a goal kicker.
Yeah.
Normally gets one a game, at least. But I'll tell you what, he needs to get this.
Yeah. If he used to kick one all afternoon, it's going to definitely be this one. We inject some momentum back into the Tars outfit. Looks like he's going to try and go for a...
He's right of centre.
Snap here.
Left of centre, a right footer, and hits the behind post, the far behind post on the full, out of bounds on the full, and the Tigers will clear, and they'll do it nicely. Nighthouse goes short. Got another player short here, Butler. He ignores him, goes across the face to Nighthouse. Why not? He's the skipper. He'll get a game next week. Tigers inside defensive 50. 5-1 to 2-8. 17 and a half minutes in. Back they go. They've got to be precise. That's Brown. Back to Nighthouse, racking up possessions.
That's certainly losing territory, allowing Waratah just to...
Nighthouse goes forward. Now they'll be outside defensive 50. Finally, and they mucked it up. That's Nathan Brown. Doesn't muck up too often.
No.
The former skipper out of bounds. So Waratah have a chance. Kick and a half from goal. Left half forward. Gardens Oval. Bowen against Kane. Kane grabs the footy. Goes inside with the hands. Another handball inside. Keranua. Why doesn't he go long? Keranua could have kicked a goal from there. He's only 50 metres from goal. Dragged off the footy. Moo. Back they go. And a mark taken, a lovely mark taken. We called him earlier, and he's had a crack, Big Pope.
Yeah, he's been good so
Pope.
far.
I keep calling him Pope,
Pope.
but he's a Hope. I hope Pope gets it.
Yeah.
So Darcy Hope. We can see the angle. He's a right footer, but it shouldn't worry him, the angle. The first goal of the term for Waratah. Got to kick it. He just must. He really must kick this. And I reckon he has.
Certainly has, but made those sitting up in this corner work for it a little bit. It wasn't the prettiest kick that close in, but you'll take those all day long, and it eats into that lead now. Waratah 3-8-26 to Nightcliff 5-1-31, almost into, or certainly past time on, and you are watching AFL NT's coverage of the TIO NTFL season live here from Gardens Oval.
So I suppose, George, if you do the sum, 3 goals 8 equals 11 scoring shots to 5-1 equals 6 scoring shots, and it's sort of indicative of the way the game's been played. Waratah have been wasteful, particularly in that first term, but they just got their first goal in the second term into time on.
Absolutely. All up here.
In the middle of the ground, Kirby and Bowen back in the ruck. Kirby knocks the ball back, but only as far as Nightcliff. Nightcliff get the clearance. They go forward. Can they take a mark down here? They can't. The defence of Waratah, too good. Series of handballs. Out they go. Kick. Nice. Favouring the grandstand side. Nightcliff go forward. Right half forward. Just forward of the wing. Got an option inside. Not the best of kicks. Goulden been terrific. Goes forward, over the back, no mark taken. Ball on the ground, in dispute.
Ooh.
Henry Keranua.
Nightcliff free kick.
That'll be Big Bowen to take the free kick deep in defence. Bowen is a player, short. It's Stanley Cox. Cox goes back further. Nightcliff weighing up their options. Scoreboard side, ball on the ground in dispute, picking it up, but over the boundary line, Dylan Collis. Been busy to be tossed in by the boundary umpire. Slightly favouring Waratah. Bowen v Kirby. Bowen moving around, looking for the option. Dead heat in the ruck. Nightcliff, series of handballs, clear. Scoreboard side, over the back. Gooch can't take the mark in defence. Sees the ball out of bounds. Probably a good result. See the scoreboard in the background. 3-8-26 Waratah, 5-1-31 Nightcliff. It's been Nightcliff's term. They've kicked 4 goals to 1. Ball in dispute. Nightcliff chasing hard. James Gow, a couple of goals to him. Butler, Kirby. Kirby does it nicely, over the back. Handball once again, out of trouble, out of defence. 2-on-1. Nightcliff should win this. Injecting himself as Turnbull. Hasn't done much for the game. Took him on. Great tackle. And the tackle was apparently high. Gee, was courageous there, Sean Wilson. Bit unlucky, but nonetheless. Waratah.
Oh.
People will say justice was served.
Shanked that one. Fortunately for him, not quite out in full.
No, the white line saved him. To be tossed in by the boundary umpire. In front of the grandstand, 23 minutes into the second term. Not much time left till half time. Bowen in front, Bowen over the back, but only as far as an opposition player, Brodie Carroll, hung on to, and Carroll will take the free kick. The left footer, back of the centre, switches. Centre half back, gets to Turnbull. Turnbull didn't get the kick out. Picked up by Nightcliff. They are relentless, the Tigers.
Certainly
Forward
are.
they go. Waratah cannot take a mark, cannot kick a goal. They go across the face of goal. This time, can they do any good? William Collis. Kirby. They're just under so much pressure. Nightcliff have really lifted. The coach, Chris Backs, will be delighted, I reckon, at half-time.
Yeah, it's a hot footy at the moment. So neither team can really hold on to it as we...
And there's the siren. It is half-time. Waratah trailed at quarter-time, but they are down at half-time. 3-8 to 5-1.
Certainly, it's been a very good quarter for the Tigers. They've re-injected themselves into this game with 4 second quarter goals, have now taking a very handy 5-point lead here at Gardens Oval. We'll have a bit of a break for half-time and rejoin with you with a third quarter not far away.
Up here, the Wanderers. That's Jai Bolton. He picks up. Handball's there to McAdam. Fijo calling for it. Bolton says, I've got McQueen out there. McQueen takes the mark. He's got time. Aims at that right goalpost. And first blood of this round 10 game to Southern Districts. Southern Districts opposition, a little nudge. Picked up there by Matty Shannon. It goes inside 50, bounces over the top. Oh, well done there. Spilt into the hands there of Matthew Mazzini. And Mazzini's also been a very good player for Southern Districts this year. Go with it here. They've got to get it on the boot. Bowden, well done. Skips around butts, and that was a rugby move there. Went one way, hips went the other, and he drills McQueen. He's really opened this up. McQueen goes there to Schwartz. Schwartz, who's a good player as well. He's a goal-kicking half forward. Goal umpire does not move. Crowd appreciate that. And comes there to Mentha. Mentha's had a really good game as well. Breaks a tackle from the 50. Drills one in forward. I reckon the Wanderers player got a hand in that. That was Dunstan. Spins around on his right boot. And well done by the big full forward there. He drills his second. One couldn't take it. Mentha picks up. Does a hurdle over his player. Comes there to Smith. He drills one. One-on-one. Oh, I think he might have done a shoulder here. That's big Dunstan. Will stay with the play, but I think that was Taj Stanley. There's the mark there taken by Roy George.
Well, depending on the Waratah Buffalo game, if the Buffaloes get up there, then Districts are back on top. And they kicked a goal here.
Yep, picked up there by McManus, and from the pocket of death, he's drilled one. Gave the Southern Districts defender their Waitman all sorts of time to spoil. Comes there to Weitra. Weitra goes boundary side, right to the square there. I reckon that's gone through. Well done, Daniel Weitra. King without it. And they're going to play on here, Southern Districts. Ball comes there to Stanley. Stanley goes inside 50. Oh, wall there by himself is George. And he just waltzes in around on the left foot, over his shoulder. And says, boys, what you can do at one end, we can do up the other. Picked up there by Lewis on his left foot. It's 3-on-3 here. Southern Districts player from the back there. Spills down there to Tyson White. Fell in his lap. He said, Merry Christmas, thank you, and puts through his second. Gone, geez. Roy George has got a lot of space out there. Goes inboard, and he hits up Bo Schwartz. They've done this well, haven't they?
They're after some more goals, you'd think. Here's a long shot by Fijo.
Call it great. Ronald Fijo, well done.
Over to Yaron. Yaron handballs it out into the space. Grenfell bends down. It's a long way down for the big fella. Musgrave rips it out and throws it on the boot for a snap. Is it a goal? I think Mitchie's got the first one for the day. Area picked up by Thompson. Hacked forward by Tiwi. Got the run of the ball here. Cunningham, if it sits for him, it sits well. He kicks on the right foot towards goal. Oh, that's a great goal. Well done, Cunningham. He took his opportunity and didn't make, and certainly made Saints pay. No, it wasn't Musgrave, sorry. It was Parker Fawcett. Does pretty well. Comes out Lant, left foot. Can kick a goal on his left Lant and goes bang. It's a goal. Out for Hillier. a hard-working player. He does the discipline thing. He looks back in and to Paredes, who's marked it. He's played on. The umpire's called him to play on. Paredes, the skipper, goes back and just goes bang again. Great goal, Nate Paredes. The ball, the camera's sort of lost us there for a second. Dion Munkara throws it onto his right foot. Oh, luck's the fortune. It's picked up by Stan Tipalura, and he'll kick the goal there. Well done, Stan Tipalura. Bowden chips into the champ. Calder's tackle from behind. Fantastic effort there. Oh, that's a great effort there by the Tiwi player. Short. Paredes has got it now. Paredes looks long, going for the tall timber, and Grenfell on the lead. He's picked it up. He's hooked it back, the big fella. Does he like it? The umpire gives us nothing. Yes, it's a goal. That occasion, Tipalura, but he's coughed it straight up over the top to forced it. He's gone in, he doesn't hold on to it, and that's kicked off the ground. Nicky Yaron's kicked it off the ground, and that's a goal. That's a goal to St Mary's Court. He's got the class to do this. He works it back out, and Dion Munkara won't have the legs. Oban goes up. Excellent effort there, just throws the ball on the boot. Cunningham, very clever, and that is a goal. Great work there by Dale Cunningham. 24 and a half minutes gone, third quarter. Lant just goes out onto the left foot and hooks it back on the siren. Great goal, Dylan Lant. Good, a far better performance than the round 2 loss. And goes in short. Well done. Picked up by Munkara. Munkara snaps it. Oh, well done. Great effort, Willie Munkara. That's a great goal. On that occasion, the left foot, it's a high one. One for the Brave. Calder, good Dukes. Excellent work. Jackson Calder goes to the left foot. Over to Yaron, and Nicky Yaron's got that one. Quick reply coming from St Mary's. Can't be a lot of time left. Now Yaron plays on, hooks it back around. It's a great snap and goal there from Nicholas Yaron.
And sending him straight inside the 50, so straight away the red and whites into attack, loose on the ground, knocked to his thing was Corey Reach, and the ball has been socket off the ground. I reckon it was Hope, and Tars are on the board straight away. Mark, he's just put it straight up and down though. It's going to drop short. It's going to try to be punched through. It lands in Holtz. Fitz puts it through.
Buffalo's on the board, 1-1-7, they trail Waratah 2-1-13.
Puts on the burners and then goes in towards goal. There's no one in the goal square. Liam Holtz-Fitz has come across. Is he going to be the first to get a bouncing ball? He does. Steps one way, then back the other. Then puts it on the boot. Tries it inside out. Gee, it looks good from here. That may well be a contender for goal of the year.
Instead, it's the Tars defender running back in Nick Hall. Gets out to Goylock though. Running inside 50. Kicks towards goal. And he kicks one. A great running goal. Buffaloes have shell-shocked the Tars after a dominant first minute and a half. He'll kick it. Instead, he'll set it up. Hope with a big, strong lead, but just a bit too much. But Waddy will run onto it. On his left, great kick. And they're trading goals here at TIO Stadium. Marcus Waddy gets his first. They reduce the margin to 8 points. In there to Hall. He paddles the ball out now. And gets it back. Hall does. He kicks towards goal. And very happy with that one. So Tars again, the first goal of the quarter inside 30 seconds.
Carlin. Hope was there. The flyer across the top though was Hoare. Now it's come back out in the hands of Goy Lock. Having just kicked on his left, he kicks on his right and kicks the goal with it.
Fantastic running goal from Locke, one of the better plays on the ground so far.
The boot hurried. Can't quite get the hands on it. Now they can. Tars pushing forward through Stevens. He picks it up, beats two, then puts it on the boot. Snap around the shoulder and through for a goal.
Beautiful keel back around there. Fantastic snap and one that they really needed. Kirby on Atkinson in the middle to start off with. Atkinson with the first hit out. Gets it to Brew. Brew gets a handball back to Stokes. Stokes takes a bounce. He runs clear of the pack. Takes the second inside 50. Dances around one. Drops the ball. Picks it up and gets around Collis. He's very close. Snaps towards goal. What a start to this quarter, Ashley Manakaros. That was.
Well, is that a contender for goal of the year?
That would be. So, ball's brought back in for Buffs. Not a good kick on the rebound. Turnbull gets her hands off to Carlin. Carlin snaps towards goal over the umpire's head. And Tars put some pressure back on Buffs and get one going their way. Another 6 points. Reduce the margin back. Kicks it long down the line. Stokes the target. Two Tars players collided in there and couldn't take the mark. Now it comes out to Collinson out the back. There's plenty of space. Clark, he's running forward. Collinson instead just boots it long to goal. It'll bounce once, it'll bounce twice, and it's through. So the Buffs get another goal, reduce the margin to 12 points. Comes down now. Buffs will get it out of there. Not easy though. Rolls around Magro, crumbs it, turns over goals, goes through. And that is an important goal.
Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is round 11 action of the 2022-23 TIO NTFL Men's Premier League season here live from Gardens Oval. And we have a tight contest. It's the Waratahs 3-8-26 trailing Nightcliff Tigers 5-1-31 with a 5-point differential and a lot of footy still to play. Ian, what do you think either of these teams have to do to end up on top?
Well, I reckon, George, that Nightcliff just have to replicate what they did in that second term, because they trailed by 10 points at quarter time, Nightcliff, and kicked 4 goals to 1 in that second term, and actually were dominant, were quite dominant.
Yep. It certainly has been polarising, though, because looked like Waratah had the best of the footy in that first quarter.
Yeah.
Nightcliff, as you mentioned, better of the second. Do you think that whoever can wrestle back momentum in this quarter, and if they can go on to kick maybe 3 or 4 goals, would look to be the favourite?
Yeah, look, I think you're right, and it's only 5 points. Waratah have kicked 3 goals, 8, and we were talking off air, of course, and if you walked into the game and you saw 11 scoring shots to 6 scoring shots, you would think that Waratah are in front. And Waratah, I guess with the amount of possession they've had, they probably should be in front. But to Nightcliff's credit, they really closed up. Now, I don't know what the coach, Chris Back, said to them at quarter time, but it certainly worked. And if he can do the same thing and get the same result in this third term, then Nightcliff will win home. And as we said at the start of the game, Nightcliff, it is a game that Nightcliff do certainly need to win. They just must win, because they're pretty precarious at this stage of the game with a 3-5. That's 3 wins and 5 losses, and they're sitting 7th on the ladder. And Waratah, of course, on top of the ladder, 7 wins and 2 losses. So if Nightcliff want to play finals football, this is one of those must-win games. The Battle of the Beaches.
That's right. And I think what's a bit more polarising on this season rather than others is that because so many clubs in this league are competitive and taking wins off each other, if you fall 2 or 3 games outside that finals pack, things can really get dangerous for you.
Yep, they certainly can. And don't rely on other teams winning or losing. You just do it yourself.
No.
That was the old St Mary's mantra. You'd get the wins on the board till the Christmas break, then have a rest, but you had the wins on the board and it was up to the others to catch up.
That's right.
Ball now ready to be tossed up. It's the third term, and we were discussing, is it still the premiership quarter? Well, certainly for Waratah and for both these teams, but particularly for Nightcliff, it is the premiership quarter. If they want to feature this year, they must win this game. Arnold Kirby to the right of screen. The big man, hands on hips. And he's up against an equally big man, and that is Jackson Bowen. Bowen was severely beaten by Kirby in the first term, but Bowen lifted in that second term.
Yeah, that certainly has. It's been a great clash of titans as they're about to go at it to kick off this third term.
Turns it around. Bowen and Kirby. Kirby didn't cross the line. Up they go. Body's the same. Bowen got it. Out to Philo. Philo flips it back to Eilert. Eilert taken high. No, play on called the umpire. Probably ducked into a tackle by Keranua there. Eilert, though, his second effort was pretty good, and he started the game beautifully. That might be 50. Ryan Moo runs around the man on the mark. Kicks inside forward 50. But a big mark taken in defence. Waratah needed the big mark. They got the big mark. A series of handballs. Out they go. Probably one of the best players on the ground is Brodie Carroll, playing in defence. He gets it across to a teammate in Edward Morris. Been okay himself. Gets it to Turnbull. Turnbull needs to get his hand on the ball far more. Silver, too quick. Runs the ball. Tap, tap, tap. But pushed off the football. Well done in defence, Nightcliff. Nightcliff, they're away once again, favouring the scoreboard side. They kick it forward. Terrific effort. Switch. Centre half back. Into the centre square. Big Bowen. Bowen. Let's see the kick. Goes forward. Over the back. Waratah clear the ball. Out of bounds. A wing. Grandstand side. The volume goes up when it's on the grandstand side because it's full of Waratah supporters, absolutely. George. Yes. And rightly so. It's their home ground. It's Gardens Oval. Tossed in by the boundary umpire. Bowen. Kirby. Bowen in front. Knocks it to no one in particular. Nightcliff, head over the football. Philo, look away handball. Gets it out to the best player on the ground, probably Brodie Carroll. Kicks the ball forward. Silver, he can't find the handle. Carroll, once again, a long way up from the defence. Held the ball in. And that'll be Nyhouse. Must have paid in the back. And the man we were also talking about at half-time is Darcy Hope. Now, left of centre, he is a right footer with Nyhouse on the paint of 50. So he's going to have to kick 55. No breeze. Normally would get the sea breeze in if it was an afternoon game.
I saw him before the game practicing from this distance, and he did nail quite a few, so
Darcy.
Back himself.
Hope. He hopes he will kick it. Runs close to the man on the mark. Puts it into the stratosphere. Drops short. Over the back. And a minor score. So they've opened with a minor. That's the last thing they need, Waratah. They need goals. They go to 3-9. Trailing Nightcliff. 5-1. Bowles will run his full measure. Outside defensive 50. Lovely raking left foot kick. Oh, and a good mark taken. Handball. Nightcliff go further. Kick down the line, but over the back. Here they go. Switch. Out to Keranua. Keranua inside. Nice kick forward, not to anyone in particular. Nyhouse over the footy. Just brushes off his tackler and throws the ball back for the boundary umpire. But Waratah are inside their forward 50, just. Left half forward. Probably a kick and a half out from goal. Or one long, accurate kick from there. But it'll have to be a beauty. Tossed in by the boundary umpire. Bowen in front. He's lifted. Ball on the ground. Eilert. He's played well all game. He's a terrier, isn't he? Wouldn't matter what game he was playing. Even your game, George.
That's right.
He's a terrier. And Joel Stevens helps him up. Cameron Eilert says, thank you very much. Gentleman's game. This is a gentleman's game. Eilert, inside defensive 50. Favours the grandstand side. Up they go. Ball in dispute. Round and about. Nightcliff in possession. Courageous. Just love to see that. And that player there, Jack O'Sullivan, hasn't done much, but what he's done has been full of courage. And he lifts his teammates. Kick and a half out, right half forward. Waratah in attack. Third quarter, almost 5 minutes in. Kirby got that one. Butler onto the left foot, the non-preferred left. Can't take the mark. Waratah defending grimly. He's not going to let that out. Sean Wilson has kicked a goal. The Shepherd, good free kick by the field umpire. And Butler will take the free kick. Now, he's got to convert this, but he kicks it, goes to a running teammate. Let's see who that one was. Was that Brodie Philo? Joel Stevens in a bit of a fracas. And a 10-point lead to Nightcliff will give that goal to Philo. Running around Butler. It's just these yellow jumpers and the white numbers, they're very, very difficult to pick up, the Nightcliff players.
Yeah, it's one thing making it look good in a design concept, but then when it comes out to practicality...
Yep, it doesn't work.
No.
It simply doesn't work. Look at Waratah, look at Kirby, 36, you can see it, you know it's him. I mean, you know it's him for his size and shape,
right.
But it's blokes that are similar size and shape. It's hard to differentiate. Anyway, it's not our problem. Well, I suppose it is our problem. Kirby wins it. Goes down. Bowen can't find the handle. Waratah need the next goal. They desperately need the next goal. They're going to get it. Ball comes out. Errant handball. Looks like they might have shifted Brodie Carroll out of defence onto the ball. Inside forward 50. Moo gets it out to Wilson. Moo on the rebound. Kicks across the ground. Out looking for a teammate. Good Shepherd. Turnbull, too strong. Dragged the Nightcliff player off the football.
Yep.
And it's a free kick. They go wide, by hand. Inside forward 50. Ball on the ground. In dispute. Waratah, a series of handballs. Kiranua, Timothy, he's done well. Runs his full measure. Shocking kick. Couldn't flip the ball out. Tried to flip it to a running player. Silver over the football. A bigger man. Might have tripped him. Might have slid into his leg. Tossed it in by the boundary umpire. Pretty much true wing. Bowen, Kirby, Bowen comfortably. Gets it out to Wilson. Wilson onto the right boot. Inside forward 50. Big mark needed. Can't take the mark. Ball on the ground. Running hard at the football. That Waratah player in Nick Hoare. He's been solid in defence, but he's had a few mates down there too. Silver. Again, he's slipped under the Nightcliff player. Probably didn't trip that time, but I reckon the time before he might have done. But he got away with it. Nightcliff around the corner. Courageous mark. Dropped. Big Bowen. Bends down. Long, long way down for him to bend. Turnbull has lifted. Needs to lift. Goes forward. Lovely kick. Mark taken. Forward they go. Joel Stevens. Involved in the fracas earlier.
Yeah. He was picked out, singled out there, and he's been picked out with a beautiful kick here.
But he's going to have to kick from 52, 53.
Yep.
Slightly left of centre. Suits the right footer. Runs around. Kicks. Has been spoken about as a draft, maybe a draftee, but no such luck for Stevens at this stage in his football career, in his young football career. Yet they go, Nathan Brand. Left back pocket, where he plays his best footy. Kicks outside defensive 50. Up they go. No one can take the mark. Handball. Back to Stevens. Stevens is lifted. So is Turnbull. Waratah in attack. They can't find a goal. Lovely mark taken, and there's our man.
Yep. Darcy Hope.
Darcy Hope. This time he's right of centre. Has a goal. Got that in the second quarter. He's coming back a long, long way, but he still will have to kick from well inside 50. So probably 30 metres. It's just one of accuracy. And the way Nightcliff, the way Waratah are going, they couldn't buy a goal. Hope kicks on goal. And as I said that, he's nailed it.
Yep.
He's a multiple goal scorer. He has two, one in the second, one in the third. And it's just what the doctor ordered. 4-9-33 Tars, trailing Nightcliff 6-1-37.
Yeah, an important goal. You mentioned it only minutes before that. Tars needed the next one in this contest just to claw back that scoreboard pressure, and they certainly have done that. 4-point differential.
Stevens and Turnbull have lifted, haven't they?
Yeah.
And they're key midfielders for them. Big-bodied players. Carlin's been terrific. Number 22 there, Scott Carlin, we see for Waratah in the midfield. Arnold Kirby.
And you called it early as well. He's running off half-back. Brody Carroll has been immense this third quarter as well.
He's had a lot of it, hasn't he? He certainly has. Butler v Kirby. The leaper against the strong man. Dead heat in the middle. Out they go. Nightcliff get the clearance. Forward they go. Watties has been good for Waratah from half-back. He's been very good. Carlin, another possession. Carlin, what can he do? Some defence. Oh, and he's paid the push, I think. There was no chop, but it must have been just the push. Too far out to score. Waratah inside Turnbull offers. Doesn't fulfil that offer. Kicks forward. Hope Gets it back inside to Keranua. Henry Keranua, one way then the other. They can't stop him. He kicks it 2 or 3 metres. Back to Hope. Waratah have the footy. Go forward.
Oh.
Can he go back for the second grab? He does. Joel Stevens. He's paid the push.
Yep.
Didn't pay the mark, and I think it's warranted. So Stevens is lifted. Turnbull's lifted, as we said. Stevens has kicked a goal. Got that in the first term and couldn't miss this. He could throw this over. He's pretty much directly in front and will have to travel about 20 metres.
Yep.
I'm sure if he does throw it, it'll be a behind, so he'll have to kick it, but he could throw it. Stevens kicks on goal. Oh, gee, it wasn't much of it, and he did miss. He did miss. He missed the impossible. That should have been a goal. Dead set goal. 4-11-34. They trail by 3 points. Nightcliff 6-1-37. Nyhouse looking for options. He's going to go long. He can crib 15 metres and go short. Gets it out to Eilert. Eilert's been good.
Yeah, he has. I think maybe somehow halfway through the second quarter he had that bit of a drop-off. Obviously you can't go high octane for 100% of the time. But
yeah, but he's been terrific.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, I mean, he's been a fantastic player for a long period of time.
We've got another opportunity perhaps for the Tars.
Right of centre. Men on the mark, about 50 metres from goal, so we have to kick from outside 50. Right footer. Kicks on goal. Misses to the near side. So Waratah, if they had the yips, they've still got them. They haven't done much about it. Trail by 2 points. 35 plays 37. Nyhouse. We don't count these as possessions, do we, when they kick in?
Especially when it's put them under like this.
Very good Magro. Great defensive work in the forward pocket. And they should rush to him. One player does. Waratah keep the ball at left half forward. Between half forward and forward pocket. High school end. Gardens Oval. Trail by 2 points, the home side. Tossed in by the boundary umpire. In front Butler. Gets it down. Series of handballs. Picked up Watty. Watty goes back. Looking for Magro. Magro onto the left foot. Can he weave some magic? Can he weave some magic? Jaden Magro kicks his second and puts Waratah in front.
Well, they certainly get around him for that one. Wow. Bit of Magro magic in the third quarter there. And as you said, giving them a 4-point lead and it's restored some of that respect into that scoreboard. What a goal.
It's what counts on the scoreboard eventually, doesn't it? I mean, essentially. And Magro, that's as good a goal as you will see.
Yeah, 100%.
He was, on the left side of the goals. He is a left footer, so he's kicking from the outside, and he nailed it under pressure.
Under huge pressure, yeah. Split second longer with possession, he would have been mowed down from behind.
No doubt. 41 plays 37, 4 points. Gee, your arithmetic's good. You said 4-point lead, and they are 4 points ahead. Ball tossed up. Butler gets it down. Philo gets a kick under pressure. Some defensive work here. Flip the ball out. Nightcliff. Tackle! Keranua. Timothy Keranua forced the error. Ball out of bounds, but Nightcliff have it in their forward line. Between wing and half forward, grandstand side. Kirby in front, gets it in the Keranua direction, kicked off the ground, that time by Carroll. Joel Stevens affects the tackle. Nightcliff, series of handballs. Nathan Brown, another handball. Cameron Eilert, kicks inside forward 50, down the corridor, over the back. Oh, can't take the mark. Bad luck. Good effort by Waratah that time. And again, Nick Hoare. Deep in Nightcliff's forward line. They trail by 4 points. They led by 5 at half time. Over the top, Bowles can't get a kick away. Finally does, and it is a behind. So Waratah to bring the ball back, and Dylan Collis. He's everywhere, isn't he? He's the everywhere man, Dylan Collis. Dylan Collis onto the trusty left. Has a player wide. Who is it? Joel Stevens. Lifted this quarter. Got into a fracas. That might have lifted him a little bit.
Yeah, it might have lit the fire as well for this Waratah resurgence.
My word, yep. Outside defensive 50. Big mark over the back. Kirby. Beat Butler pointlessly that time. Taller man. Read it better. Butler's been okay. He gets the chop out to Bowen. Kirby will switch. What's he got? Got a player. Played the advantage. Carlin kicks inside forward 50. Mark required. Down the back. Magro pushed off the kick. Pope. Hope. It's out of bounds. But it's where Waratah want it.
Yeah, certainly is. As we approaching the latter stages of this third quarter, they've wrestled back the lead and certainly momentum as well, and the home fans are getting right behind them.
A goal here by the home side, you're quite right, will be magical, I reckon. Ball on the ground. Bowles kicks it outside defensive 50. Does now. Turnbull knocks his opponent over. Wilson has Moo on the fly. Moo out wide. Bounce inside to Moo again. Are they mucking around? No, they get away with it. Outside wide. To John O'Peris. Out, he goes inside by hand. Pick up and kick on goal. And a mark taken deep in defence, Waratah. So all that effort, Waratah muck it up. Eilert. And Waratah will clear. Well done, Nick Hoare. Gets it out to Kiranua. That's Henry. Kick it, Henry.
Oh.
Mucked it up. He's got about 3 to beat here. Taken high and a free kick given away. Probably should have kicked it the first time.
Yeah.
Had the option. Inside Nightcliff go. Touched off hands. Long bomb inside forward 50. The Waratah defence up to the task, and it's through for a minor score. Nightcliff trail by 2 points. Five 11 6-3. Nightcliff trail by 2 points. Just about to tick into time on in the third term. Carroll. Nice long kick, favours the score, the grandstand side. Out of bounds. Won't be much time. At quarter time, it was a 10-point lead to Waratah. At half time, Nightcliff led by 5. Almost three-quarter time, Waratah by 2. So it's been close. That's a high tackle. Oh, goodness gracious.
No.
The field umpire said that the Nightcliff player pushed the Waratah arm up. I can't necessarily agree with that, but nonetheless, that's okay. Brodie Carroll.
Ooh, courageous there.
Yep. Kicks it forward. Magro gets it out wide. Watty, been fantastic. Goes and looks for Magro. Magro, the man of the moment. Dragged off the footy and will be rewarded, I reckon, and should have been rewarded.
Yep.
Now, Magro snagged one from here
Yeah.
about 3 minutes ago.
Yeah.
He is the most acute of angle for a left footer. So he is left of centre. He is a left footer. He's kicking to the high school end at Gardens Oval. Waratah, his team leads by 2 points. About to be three-quarter time. No pressure.
No. I mean, you're minusing that. It was on the run. A set shot. Time to assess.
Magro. Oh, he's nailed it. He just cannot miss. He cannot miss. That's his third goal.
Wow. Magician Magro pulls out another goal from the hat and sets him up to 3 now. In illustrious company by himself up there. 3 for the evening, and more importantly has opened up an 8-point lead for the Tars, who after the second quarter certainly looked a little bit out in regards to pressure and momentum. It seems like the Tigers have certainly put a bit of a pause on that, but as we said, it's only 8 points. As you said, third quarter coming to an end, so this one is poised perfectly for a good final
But it's
quarter.
6-11 to 6-3, so that's 17 to 9.
Yep.
The big guns, they're in the middle. Bowen gets it down. Can Nightcliff get the clearance? Kick off the ground. Should have been down to pick it up. They desperately need it. A kick off the ground there by Carlin, who's been fantastic for Waratah. That's Scott Carlin. Ball to be tossed in. Nightcliff Waratah slightly in attack. Ball on the ground, in dispute. There goes Watty. Tucks the ball under the arm. Runs his full measure and some.
Definitely his full measure and a little bit more. Oh, no.
So has he paid the travel?
Yes, yep. Nightcliff free kick.
Nighthouse won't get the free kick. He'll transfer it to a teammate.
It'll find its way to the...
He was probably just looking for the right spot to,
Yeah.
to get the kick,
Yeah.
and he certainly did go too far. That's Marcus Watty. Nightcliff clear. Over the top. Ball in dispute. Grandstand side. Over the football. Dylan Collis.
Oh, ugly there.
Yeah, it's in the strike zone in front of the grandstand. If it was on the other side, it wouldn't matter. Nightcliff have got the footy. Well done, umpire. Kick the thing. Just kick it. Well done. Nightcliff go forward. I suppose he was looking for options, but they needed to clear that fracas.
Yeah.
And that's a fair bump.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's paid there, but that looked a fair bump, didn't it? It certainly wasn't high.
No, I think maybe just to de-escalate the...
Yeah, I understand that, but you still got to pay the free kicks.
Yeah.
Only pay the free kicks that are there. Left foot, another left footer for Waratah. And there it is, three-quarter time. Jake Bowd, that was. And Waratah, that was their term. They lead. 6-11-47. Nightcliff 6-3-39.
Yeah, and certainly been a resurgent third quarter by the Tars. They're feeling this momentum coming into the third quarter break, and their coaches respectively, Ryan Ayers and Chris Bash, will have a bit of work to do and to see either of these teams home. Short break here, and we'll be back soon at Gardens Oval. Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's round 11, TIO NTFL Men's Premier League season here, live at Gardens Oval. And we certainly have a ripper in store. Waratah 6-11-47 lead, Nightcliff 6-3-39. Two big men go to work.
I reckon you're right, George. We've got the close one. We're going to have the secondary bounce. And he'll throw it up this time. Kirby and Bowen. Both have been terrific for their side. Kirby won the first quarter, but Bowen has lifted subsequent to that. Nightcliff looking for the clearance. Can't get it out. Kick off the ground, missed. Picked up Waratah. Go back by hand. So they've got the clearance already. That's Collis. Been great all game. Inside defensive 50. Timothy Kerenua goes forward. Half kick. Brown over the footy. Former captain. Premiership captain. And Nick Gooch, a former captain of Waratah. I don't think he's a former premiership captain, but he certainly captained Waratah for several seasons and has been serviceable down in defence. Grandstand side, 47 plays, 39. Nightcliff trailing now, have led for most of the game. Handball, look away handball, didn't work. Timothy Kerenua, again, just can't quite find the handle. Go back by hand. Nightcliff. Down the line. Grandstand side. Oh, over the top. Turnbull can't take the mark. Picked up a Waratah. Mark. Deep in defence. Gooch. Goes wide. Picks up a good player in Bowd. Bowd goes to Turnbull. Lifted in that third quarter, Turnbull, with a few of his mates. Nightcliff will clear. Waratah clears. Carlin onto the left foot in the Joel Stevens direction. And the ball out of bounds. It's gone from coast to coast. Waratah now deep in attack. Defensive Nightcliff needs to gather. The two big men, Bowen and Kirby. Tossed in by the boundary umpire. Should be a good contest in front. Handball out. Silva. Missed the man. Nightcliff will clear comfortably. Turnbull couldn't take the mark. Courageous effort. It'll be thrown in by the boundary umpire. So it's gone from one end to the other. 2 minutes and 31 seconds into the final term. It is an 8-point lead to Waratah, the home side. Kirby will trip there. Goodness gracious me. The field umpire, the controlling umpire didn't pick it up, but the trailing umpire picked it up. That's almost a reportable offence. Because I think he tripped him by his hand. He dived at him and tripped him by his hand. So inside forward 50, Nightcliff, but over the back. Lovely mark. Here's another one of your good players, William Collis. They're all left footers, the good players for Waratah. Magro, Stevens has been terrific. Now the run of Timothy Kerenua. He's calling someone. Kick it long, Timothy, kick it long. Doesn't listen to me. I wonder what his dad's thinking. And a terrific effort there, Kerenua, the same player. High tackle. No. Give it to me, said the field umpire. So just about inside the paint of 50. Waratah deep in attack. Right half forward. Grandstand side at Gardens Oval. Kane for Waratah. The chop out man. William Kane. Ball on the ground. Some strength needed. Kane has the football. Tackled beautifully.
Great tackle.
Yeah, it was. Nyhouse. We'd expect that from a player with his credentials. He's called to play on. Nyhouse. Where's he going? What's on offer?
Oh.
Lots of red, plenty of yellow, about even numbers. Under pressure, can't get it out. Carroll, it's Brodie Carroll, got it out. Flipped it out, Bowles, picked up Carlin. Carlin onto the left foot. No one down there to take a mark. Joel Stevens applies some pressure to Nyhouse. Ball now in dispute. Running hard after the football, the tall man. Kane gets it out by hand. Magro, more magic! Yes!
Jaden Magro, wow.
You can't do that. You can't do that time and time again.
Almost emulates his effort in the third quarter there.
Oh, well, and the pressure now, that's put Waratah ahead by 14 points.
Handy lead, but a great finish there, and a lot of his teammates getting around him as well. And certainly now in very looking down at the rest of the goal kickers, is his fourth of the evening.
So we got one in the first, two in the third, and one in the last. And he's been the match, not the match winner because the game's not over. We're only 5.5 minutes into the final term. But they lead by 14 points. In the context of this game, 7-11 to 6-3. Back in the middle. Waratah, get the clearance. Easy as you like. Carlin, one of those left footers for Waratah. Touched off the boot. Tapped forward, out of bounds. Right half forward. Waratah in attack. Kicking a half out from goal. But it's at the right end for the home side.
Yep. Certainly getting goals is important in this game, but sometimes the manner in which you get them, and that goal in the third and just now in the fourth by Magro are kind of those adrenaline boosters, you know.
Magic. So, yeah.
This could start.
Handball. They need to clear the defensive area. Took them on. Play on called the umpire. There's Carlin again. He's had plenty of it. Carlin, was he hung on to?
Holding the ball, I thought.
Yep. Desperate free kick. Nightcliff. Left half back. Go forward. Big mark taken. Nice mark taken. Goulden played an important part. Up they go again. No, a second grab, second effort. Terrific.
Referee called play on.
Yeah, maybe it was touched or it hit the ground first. We couldn't tell from here. But he's shaking his head, isn't he, Darcy Hope?
Yeah.
Darcy in hope.
He hoped it was given, but...
Butler. Ball on the ground, ball in dispute. Kicked off the ground. They've got to be careful here, Nightcliff. Could easily have been paid in the back there, but no, not quite. He took him to the ground and didn't jump in his back. And the field umpire said, give it to me, but it's deep in Waratah forward line, left half forward. Up they fly. Butler gets the tap, running through hard. Dispossessed. Nightcliff clear. But they've set the wall up. They've set the brick wall up. It's rock solid. As has Nightcliff. Nyhouse goes forward. Push in the back, push out of the contest, and it'll be a Nightcliff free kick at right half back. Much needed free kick. 53 plays 39. It is Waratah, the home side, leading. No one on the mark. Runs his full measure. Over the back. Good defence. Jack O'Sullivan hasn't done a lot, as we said earlier in the game, but what he's done has been effective. O'Sullivan. Kirby. Butler. Butler grabs it out of the ruck. Runs around onto the right boot and kicks it out of bounds on the full. No, not sure. Yes. Not what Nightcliff needed. Ball goes forward. Outside defensive 50 now. Waratah in possession. They can't play a possession game yet. It's too early. 9 minutes into the final term. Cross the face of goal. Got to be precise. They are. Nice kick forward. Bowed. Has it. Mucked it up. It's switched. Grandstand side. Oh, and a strong mark in defence. Nathan Brown. Brown goes across the face of goal. Nightcliff outside defensive 50. They've switched. They like the scoreboard side. Over the back. Carlin is quick. Slips over. Gets the ball out by hand, looking for a teammate, and throw it in, said the field umpire. You always wonder whether he's going to pay intentional or whether it'll be under enough pressure to warrant going for the boundary line. Tossed in by the boundary umpire. Butler over the back, the bigger man, works his way to the front. Butler probably won the toss, won the tap, picked it up, Waratah. Kiranua, that's Henry. Gets it out by hand, does it nicely. Goes to a teammate, shot on goal and misses to the left. And that player could almost have stitched it up, Golden, then.
Yeah.
They trail by 15 points at Nightcliff. 7-12 to 6-3. Once again, Nightcliff 6-3. They're missing John Butcher. Goals are the problem, aren't they?
Yeah, certainly are. And I guess with half of this final quarter played, I was going to allude the question to yourself, Ian. Being 15 points down, when does it become throwing that extra man forward, you think, for Chris?
Yeah, good question. Oh, look, I don't know. I don't know. Nightcliff working forward. Philo. Over the back, the punch. The punch was nice, but the front and square picked up Nightcliff. Kick on goal and tap through. Oh, my goodness, he's been fantastic. Brodie Carroll. In defence, the minor score. Waratah work it forward. Not the best kick. Carlin goes back by hand. Turnbull. Lifted in the third quarter. Strong player. Goes inside. Poor kick, poor option. They've got to get the ball out of defence. Inside again. Good kick, good option. On the march. Waratah. Forward they go and Big Kirby takes the mark. Kirby, a noted goal kicker, has one. Kicks it forward. Ball on the ground. In dispute. They will clear. And a player that's been very good for Nightcliff down there is number 26, Stanley Cox. Had some good defenders. Don't know where to go. What's on offer? Not much. Mark taking Huppets. Huppets at centre half back. Kicks pretty much in hope. Up to the middle. Mark dropped. Should have been taken. Waratah, can they collect? Nightcliff working harder at the football. They do need to because they trail by 14 points. Series of handballs. Finishes up with Carlin. Carlin will run his full measure. Kicks inside forward 50. Over the back. What's on offer? The handball will come out. If it was Magro, he would kick the goal from there. But it's not Magro. But they kick on goal. Well, then they kick it across the face of goal. Nathan Brown under pressure. Gets it to a teammate. Well done, Brown. And Nightcliff are away. Not sure whether he touched the ground with that football, but we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. And Waratah defence up to the task. And Gooch will see the ball out of bounds in front of the faithful in the grandstand. Centre wing at Gardens Oval.
Yeah, they're certainly working hard. You mentioned it just before, the Tigers on the ball, but so far no end result to that hard work. Waratah standing strong.
They are. Defence of Waratah standing up and in the ruck. Over the back, Kiranua has lifted. Here he goes again. That's Timothy Kiranua. Stabs it forward. A lovely kick. Then a slips catch taken by our man down there. Is he a hope or is he a pope?
Well, hopefully for the red and whites, it does go straight back through the uprights.
Yes, because he's got a couple, hasn't he? One in the second, one in the third.
And with less than, based on the other quarters, should be about just under 10 minutes of time on with the stoppages we've had.
Yep.
20-point lead may just be enough.
It's 14 at the moment, George. It's 14 at the moment. Hope to kick on goal. He's set it up into the stratosphere. Won't quite make the distance. Probably did make the distance, but went across the face of goal, and it's now 15. 55 plays 40. 7-13 to 6-4. Neuhaus. What's he going to do? Where's he going to go? Not to you, Jaden Magro. He'll go the other side. Nyhouse has a bounce over the back. Waratah, the brick wall there, goes forward. Can't take the mark. Drop what he perhaps could have taken in desperation. 15 minutes. What do you reckon? 8 minutes to go?
Yeah, I'd say
23, 24.
A good position at the moment for the Tars. Of course, 15 points up in their forward 50, and they'll take stoppages like this to drain as much time off that clock as possible.
Tossed in by the boundary umpire. Bowen, but he's beaten. Waratah, kick on goal.
Yeah.
And another minor score. So Waratah now, it's their turn. 7-14-56, 6-4-40, 16 points. 3 goals. Nightcliff need?
Yep. Almost, they lead by almost as many as but the behinds they have. 14 behinds.
Nyhouse
16-point lead.
goes forward. Push. No. Been pretty consistent with that decision.
Yep.
You've got to earn your marks. In ruck, Bowen. Against Kane. Kane for Waratah, number 12. Good, the chop out for Kirby. Perhaps they're saving Kirby for the last gasp. Over the back, comfortable mark. Kicks into the man on the mark, the unforgivable sin. Nightcliff in attack, over the back, Bowed. Has he got enough? He has. He's got enough space. He's got enough time. He measures one, and he does it nicely outside defensive 50, and the mark taken by William Collis. Collis goes back. Too early to go defensive. Across the face of goal. Picks it up nicely. Turnbull. Outside defensive 50, he goes. It looks like, no, it's not Henry Keranua. Might be Timothy Keranua again. Been fantastic in this last quarter and a half. It's certainly not Henry because Henry's a left footer. Over the back, Big Bowen takes it. And the former skipper sees the ball out of bounds defensively. The boundary umpire is still the defender's best friend.
He certainly is. And
even in this day and age where deliberately out of bounds is a free kick against you. That was Gooch. Bowen flips it out to a teammate. Philo gets it inside. That's Henry, number 18. Henry Keranua, number 18, the left footer. Nightcliff go forward, and it's chopped off and chopped off comfortably. Thank you very, very much. Coming up 18 minutes. Ball now in dispute. Magro over the footy. Magro! Has he got 5? No, he's only got 4. Well, at this moment.
yeah, no, very handy 4 goals so far.
It is it's a match-winning 4 goals, I reckon. As we're ticking to 18 and a half minutes. 17 points. It's still 3 goals they've got to get. Nightcliff, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. Out they go wide. Scoreboard side. Ball in dispute. 2-on-1. And comfortably, as you like. And Nick Hall has been fantastic, but turns it over. Nightcliff will go inside forward 50. They do now. Sells the dummy. That's Mummery. Hasn't done much. Gets it up and over. What have they got on offer? Gets it forward, and Wilson takes the mark. I reckon he kicked their opening goal.
Yep.
At the 12.5-minute mark of the first term. So Wilson to kick on goal for Nightcliff. Kicks and misses to the near side. Oh, it's a dispute. Boundary umpire, goal umpire, they're having a discussion. Boundary umpire loses, the goal umpire says, it's mine, and it's a minor score. 6-5 to 7-15. It's 22-11. Double the number of scoring shots.
Yeah, I feel like that shot just then from Sean Wilson, it was imperative that he had slotted it through. Even if he had slotted it through, it would have brought a glimmer of hope. But 16 points now with maybe only a couple minutes to go. Perhaps, actually.
Threw that away. Sells the dummy. Nightcliff, and they hit the post. The ultimate insult. 6-6 the Tigers, trailing Waratah 7-15. Going back, Adam Goulden to bring the ball back into play. As a player short, Nightcliff defensive forwards not there. Bowles late on the contest. Dylan Collis kicks outside defensive 50, favours the grandstand side. Ball on the ground, Big Kane pushed out of bounds and was not unhappy to be pushed out of bounds, I'm sure. As we've ticked into time on in the final term, 42 plays 57, the home side, Waratah 57, leading by 15 points. 3 goals in probably 3 minutes the Tigers need. Can this be one of them? Away they go. Inside forward 50, over the back. Long arms. Kane, but there was a push out. Nightcliff moved the ball forward. That was Hooper. And he's kicked it out of bounds on the full. And there's the siren. There's the final siren. That was out of bounds on the full. 7:15 plays 6-6.
There we have it. You just mentioned there, Ian, the winning side, the home side, Waratah, 7 goals, 15-57, have defeated the Nightcliff Tigers 6-6-42. And it's certainly been a interesting game of very much two sides, with Waratah coming out early with a barrage of pressure, not quite having the scoreboard pressure. Nightcliff managing to wrestle some momentum back, and it looked like going into half-time that the Tigers were going to take Waratah all the way to the end, but it just proved, unfortunately for the Tigers, that they were less inaccurate than the Tars, but it proved that they were not as good in front of goal, certainly late on. Well,
7-15, 57 to 6-6-42, and you're quite right. That's 22 scoring shots to 12. If that is a measure, it's not really a measure because it's the scoreboard. It's that right-hand column there, isn't it? Yeah. 57 plays 42. But Waratah kept chipping away. They didn't give up, and credit to them and credit to their coach, Ryan Ayres. Well done to Waratah. That gives them a little bit of breathing space on the top of the ladder.
Top of the table, yeah. And just real quick, we'll throw maybe just to some of the best on grounds that we certainly picked up, I think, from the Tars perspective. I think Collis was certainly serviceable.
Dylan Collis was terrific. Jaden Magro with his 4 goals, fantastic. William Collis out of back, and I thought Scott Carlin was very, very good.
Absolutely. So no shortage of great players there for the Tars. A bit of work to do, more that is for Chris Bash and the Tigers. And my name has been George Scufezis, joined by Ian Butterworth alongside me. It was a pleasure to bring you tonight's action. Stay on the NT News and catch the end of the Men's Premier League match between Wanderers and Palmerston live from TIO Stadium. But for us here at Guardians, good night.